Right guys, welcome back to part 2 of my man in the middle slash sniffing tutorial. As you can see, during the break I've sorted out my problem. I just needed to reset my adapter and reconnect to the network and restart the poisoning process, and it was successful. If you have problems like I have, I'll go through it at the end on how to stop poisoning, etc., as it can cause a bit of problems. Anyway, now that you've got the poisoning working, you can view statistics, view how many packets you've dropped, etc., etc. If you're not really into wireless networking and networking technologies in general, you possibly won't get the terminologies or the what all the statistics mean. However, we will move on now to SSL strip. For this, I've told you what SSL strip does. We need to activate it to sniff the connection that we have set up between the gateway and the victim. So we need to use the following command: SSL strip, and we need to use the parameters -a, -k, -f. So that's -a, -k, -f. I'm not going to go into what the parameters do or mean, because to be honest, SSL strip, I could write a whole tutorial on how to use it itself. The same with DriftNet. I will just explain what they do with DriftNet. Right, and press enter, and that will activate SSL strip. It won't do anything yet, unless your victim's doing anything. It won't do anything on mine, certainly, because my victim, me, is not doing anything on the other system. So you will just see it hovering around doing nothing. That is SSL strip set up and active. For DriftNet, you will need to use the following command: DriftNet -v for verbose mode, and -i, which will specify the connection you want to use to the connection that you're using to connect to the internet, which in this case, in my case, is Ethernet 0 or ETH 0, and then press enter. It is now started the DriftNet session. Don't be worried, a black box will appear. This is where your pictures will turn up. They will not turn up in the shell. They'll turn up in this little black window. What you'll see if you look at this, if the victim surfs to a website such as YouTube, you'll see the connections, you'll see text in the background showing up as to what the connection is doing, and in this window you will see pictures scrolling from the bottom upwards. I believe it's from the bottom upwards. So that is SSL strip and DriftNet sorted. Ethercap should still be doing not a lot. Yep. And I will now try and demonstrate the DriftNet working. I would demonstrate how SSL strip works, but I have not set up a test account on any SSL enabled website to test it. If you want, you can sniff your own connection and use, or sniff a connection and use YouTube or Facebook. All those accounts use SSL and secure socket layer, and you can sniff them to your heart's content, and you'll see your passwords shoot up in front. But as for this tutorial, I don't want everyone seeing my password. But, however, I will endeavour to show you how DriftNet works. As you can see, a new connection is being established in the background and by the victim, and you will see the connection being formed in the background in the actual shell window. And hopefully, he says, you should see pictures from the YouTube homepage showing up in the DriftNet window. Ettercap, I don't believe will show anything because I'm not logged in on YouTube, and neither will SSL strip. But if your victim was logging into YouTube using username password and inputting all the data, this would be flowing with code and text and showing you the username and password of the victim. This technique is a very dangerous technique to be using. It's a very dangerous technique to be aware of. You must be aware that this technique can be used anywhere. I could sit in an internet cafe and use this technique and farm a lot of passwords from people around. This is why I will not use my banking. I use online banking. I will not do it via wireless connection. I will not do it outside my own house. And this is for this reason. And I mean, these techniques are they're not hard to be doing. They're not hard to do. YouTube has, by the looks of it, decided to be on a go slow today, but hopefully it'll try and load. Restart the browser. But the one thing I will say is you do need to take care. Do not, when you finish doing this, when you finish doing the man in the middle, finish doing the sniffing, do not just close down all the software. Do not close down all the programs. You can close down SSL Strip and DriftNet, but do not close down Ettercap. As far as Ettercap is concerned, you are still performing an ARP cache poisoning until it is told otherwise. YouTube is not deciding to load, so this has been a bit of a fail tutorial. However, it's taught you how to do it, and all these techniques work. It's been proven in the past so many times. To close it down, I will show you quickly. DriftNet, you can either close it by Control-C in the shell or just by pressing X in the window. Right click, close session. Close session. Same with SSL Strip, Control-C while on the window and close session. Then confirm. Ettercap, you will need to get off the statistics, you don't need that anymore. Go to man in the middle and go to stop man in the middle attack or attacks. You need to do this because you need to restore the ARP cache of the victim and the gateway that you are poisoning. If you don't, the person will suffer from sluggish connections, and they might not be able to connect to the router. They will know that something has happened to their connection. What I will also say is, if you are just a random Joe Blogs trying to do this on the neighbour's network or on your own network and you're just playing around with it, I will say is, if you're doing this, make sure you follow these steps on how to shut down, because if you don't and you're caught playing around with it, you're likely to get into shit by your parents or university campus or wherever. Next thing you need to do is go to start, stop sniffing. Once it says unified sniffing stopped, you're fine to close. And there we have it. Sometimes, most of the time, SSL Strip saves a log file of the session that you've opened using SSL Strip. A lot of text shows up in SSL Strip very quickly, so it's a good thing to double check the log that saves on your desktop. That's basically it. If you've followed all the steps and conducted all that to the letter, you should have performed a perfect man in the middle attack and SSL Strip. So congratulations, I've been Semtex Primed. If you want to come and have a chat or private message me, come down to iexploit.org and yeah, just private message me or comment on one of my tutorials, up to you, and I'll try and help if you've got any problems. Alternatively, leave me a comment on the video and I'll try and get back to you. Anyway, take it easy and use the tools safely.